Okay. Hey guys, this is Bodega. I'm here with Antoine Noble, founder and executive director of We Got Next. How you doing, Antoine?
Good. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. So let's. What is We Got Next? Let's start off with there.
So We Got Next is a nonprofit that was started in the South Bronx to bring free programs for the community, especially for girls in the community, boys as well. But it's our goal is pretty much, and our mission is to just increase the confidence in that the youth have. So pretty much, when we were younger, we wish we knew certain things
Yeah.
that we didn't know. So we want to make sure that they have those tools at a young age, so that as they are growing, they won't have to ever look back and say things like that. So it's not just about sports; it's more so teaching them the core values they need in life, and helping them achieve the different things, and like actually see people that have done those things, so it could keep them on track to be successful later on.
Okay, that's great. How did you start this? How did
So,
this program?
when I was in high school, I wanted to like actually have this type of program. I always wanted to run leagues. I always wanted to like do development type of things. So that was something that always stayed in my mind.
Yeah.
So when I graduated college, I tried at first. It was called Smooth League Sports.
Yeah.
I did some leagues in Lower Manhattan.
Yeah.
It was successful, but I didn't know how to.
Define successful.
Well, we had about 10 teams participate in our first year.
Okay.
We did a successful season. It was about a 5 week long
Yeah.
season.
How's the process of putting together your own little sport? Is it fair to say to call it a sports league?
Yeah, so at the time, that's what that was.
Okay.
It was a sports league. It didn't have any
What's
kind of foundation to be anything larger than that.
and what sport do you guys played?
It was basketball.
Basketball. And,
Yes.
and We Got Next is basketball's mainly focus, correct?
Yeah, our primary focus is basketball. With the incorporation of mindfulness training into it, I think that's the most important thing when it comes down to it, because you're gonna have fun playing sports, but the things that you learn and you keep are the things that are gonna make you successful.
Yeah. So how does playing sports translate to some of this stuff?
So I think just the normal things that you will
Yeah.
learn, such as teamwork, camaraderie.
Hmm.
Those are they seem like common skills, but a lot of people don't have the like know-how to have empathy for the next person, to show camaraderie in the workplace. Like a lot of people weren't taught those kind of things, so that's where you would see some selfish tendencies and things like that. This at least allows them to see how different people react to different things and learn how to adapt to different individuals. And that allows you all to come together and achieve a common goal. Um, just building that foundation is something you can like take in life and use in your workplace with your family, friends. That's stuff that's always going to be useful to you. Competitiveness has a very bad stigma,
Yeah.
um,
Why do you think so?
because people look at it as, oh, you go too hard, or you're too aggressive. But I feel there's a need and a place always for that type of thing. It creates ambition. It drives you when you're goal oriented. Like, just it's not all necessarily about competing against other individuals all the time. Sometimes you just want to be better than you were yesterday, and that's good for the kids to know that it's okay to be competitive.
So when you was growing up, are these some of the principles that you learned by playing sports?
Definitely. I say most of the values I learned from playing basketball, learned from my coaches, learned from my teammates. I think a lot of these things I would not have developed as strongly as I have without it.
So when you so your first league, what's smooth? What was
Smooth League Sports?
with Smooth League Sports? So how did that end? Because no, you're no longer doing it, correct?
Nope. So we finished the first season. There was a championship team, and then I was on a high, like, oh, I could do this. Like, I can turn this into something. I just didn't have the experience to know how to do that.
Yeah.
I jumped the gun. I actually quit my job. I
Oh
was like,
wow,
yo, I'm doing this.
that was
Like,
bold.
yeah. I'm a big risk
Yeah.
taker.
Do you have the business of it at that time, at least going before you quit your job?
I had the league going, and I just didn't know how to quantify that into anything bigger. But I was
Uh,
like, I'm gonna work on this full time,
yeah.
save a little money up. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give myself a couple months. I'm gonna have this thing rolling. I just didn't have the know how to do it or the connections to do it at the time
Mm.
because, like, as I know now, being in my 30s, connections are everything.
Yeah.
Just knowing different people. You can have the best idea in the world. If you
Yeah,
don't know the
but
right people, then it's not
it
going
doesn't get.
anywhere.
Yeah. So how was it when it eventually, it didn't, it wasn't sustainable? What do you do for work and stuff like that?
Well, I always been good at getting jobs. So once I figured out that this is not working how I thought it was gonna work, I just went back to work. I went to school for technology, so I was at Hewlett Packard for a few years, and I kept moving up in the ranks, moving on to different companies. My goal in tech was to become a director, like a head of department.
You went to school for tech. What was your major?
Business technology management.
Okay.
So it was like a kind of a double of business management and computer science. Um,
Oh, do you learn how to code?
I learned how to code a little bit, but that is not
That.
something I'm good at all.
Oh, what language you used? What
Um,
language did you taught you?
I don't even
You
remember,
don't
bro.
remember?
Nah,
I'm asking because
that
I went
that
to
world,
school. I went to
nah,
school for coding, then I switched to IT.
yeah.
Yeah, which
Oh
I don't
no,
know.
I just had to take intro coding classes.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, yeah. And it's
yeah,
funny because you probably take intro coding, you probably make more money than the actual coders.
that's crazy. Like I learned in Java how to like make somebody skateboard. Like that was it.
Yeah,
Like and that was all I knew how to do.
but so you decided to after your first attempt didn't go so well, you decided to you know go to into your career path.
Yep. So I decided to go into my career path. I was at Hewlett Packard. Then I moved on to a company called Pipe Drive, and I became head of my department. That was my goal. Got to my goal, but then complacency came with that, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep going down that route.
Yeah.
And sports has always been my first love, so I was like, you know
What
what?
what made you so unsure?
Just when you achieve a goal, for me at least, I'm always looking at the next goal.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, complacency is just my enemy.
Mm.
So I'm always looking at the next goal, and I had no next goal. I didn't want to go higher than that. Like I was good with achieving that, and now I was like, all right, I got to figure out what's my next thing because tech may not be it. I want to be happy every day, like in what I'm doing. I don't like the feeling of waking up and not wanting to go to work. That's like
Mm.
something I feel I went to school, I did my due diligence, I got the experience I needed, so I don't have to live like that.
You were at this point with your current job at the time, blue check
Yes,
job.
yes. So what I did is I saved up a year's worth of money, so that I can actually give this a real try again. Now that I have the know-how, and
How was that? The saving process. That must have been
yeah, I had way less responsibilities at that time, so it
okay.
was
Okay.
easier, and I was making a good penny, so it was
Okay.
easier to do. So I did that, and I left the job. Um, I decided to start We Got Next. Not a lot of people know this, but the first name was Noble Sports Academy.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
nice. Why you didn't go with that?
I felt it was a little too much into myself. I didn't want it to
Yeah.
be about me at all. So like I changed courses real quick with that.
Understandable. How you pick we got next?
So We Got Next is just something that we all said in the playground, and I felt like I want to get the kids that are in development. I want to get the kids that are not being looked at every day, and bring them up to the point where all the kids that are popular on social media and things like that are. I want them to be at that same
Yeah.
playing level that people thought they couldn't get to, and people never gave them the time of day to get to.
Uh, like we got next. Like we got next court.
Yep. So
I
we
just
got like
realized
we're
that.
the next prospects up. Like,
Yeah.
yep.
So how was it when your first attempt getting it through, compared to since you already had the experience of doing the smooth league?
So It wasn't easier, but I had a roadmap this time.
What was that roadmap specifically? Because We Got Next is a nonprofit organization, correct?
Yes. So the first time around, I was just like, oh, I'm going to do leagues.
Yeah.
This time I was like, I'm going to be a nonprofit. I'm going to set up different programs for girls and boys in the community, and I'm going to align myself with like-minded individuals.
What's the difference between a league and a nonprofit when it comes to doing sports?
So a league can necessarily just be a recreational thing that happens once a year. Like our nonprofit is like running year long every year, and we're trying to always bring free programming, not just basketball, not just like sports tournament to a location. Like we want to be in schools, we want to be doing after schools, we want to be doing weekend programming, and we want to be doing community engagement. So it's more of a full-fledged idea this time around.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's more all encompassing.
Yes.
It's not just about the sports.
Yes.
So how was the paperwork and all the legal parts of making it become a nonprofit?
So that's the hard part. So pretty much when you're trying to make a nonprofit,
Yes.
you have to go through lawyers. You have to get registered. You have to get tax exempt. Once I saw that bill, I was happy that I gave myself this year to just buckle down. So I decided to buy those books I needed.
Yeah.
I bought a bunch of law books. I learned all the lingo that I needed to learn. I learned how to fill out these forms correctly. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos. Like
YouTube Academy.
Yes, I was. The
So
master
you
YouTube
didn't
Academy.
use lawyers to help you with the legal process?
No, I did it all myself.
Was it because of the cost?
Well, yeah, mostly because of the cost. And then I was like, I have the time, and I like reading. I read all the time. So I didn't think it would be a big deal. I was like, let me try to do this myself. And if I mess it up, then I could always go back and use a lawyer. I did trial and error. I got rejected about 3 times.
Why you got rejected?
I was just doing specific things in the paperwork wrong.
So this is like a real they don't play when it comes to being selected.
Yeah. Everything has to be pristine. If they're gonna give you like tax exempt status, you got to be on your P's and Q's. Like the littlest thing.
Can you say some examples of reasons you got rejected?
Oh, just the first time I got rejected was I misspelled the name on one of the applications.
Let's say just on one of the applications.
So I spelled it We Got Next Sports on one, and then the next page said We Got Next Sports Inc. because it has to have like an Inc. or Corp at the end of it. So just not having that, rejection.
Wow, and on just one on one.
On one, just rejection. And that's them not even going to the next step and seeing what other mistakes you have. It's like,
So, is there a wait time between submissions?
yeah, it's usually about a week, 5 to 7 days.
All right, it's not too bad of a not like you gotta wait like another 6 months or something.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Especially, I mean, some people have to, but I had the number. I just call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, hey, what's the hold up?
Okay. So then, when you get it running, how is the process? That must be difficult itself. The process of just getting kids to show up, the actual promoting of it, awareness of it.
Yes. So our first year, unfortunately, when I decided to do this, COVID hit. So I was like, all right, I quit my job. Now we can't even play sports. So I'm like, all right, how am I gonna like navigate these waters that none of us have seen in our lives before?
Yeah.
So I just started building brand awareness of what I wanted to do, so that when the time came and we did get a little lift on COVID, we hit the ground running. We got outside, and we had a summer sports camp. We had about 30 kids coming to that. Then later on that month, we started a league, and we had about 100 kids coming to that. So it was a great social media presence and foundation that we built that allow us to speed up that process. We also did the old school setting up tables outside, talking to parents passing by, and that brought in a lot of people too. So we try to use all the different ways we could to get kids, and it worked.
So what year are you guys on now? You guys on your fourth?
Nope. We're like halfway through our second year.
Really? I think you
Yeah.
guys were around much longer.
Oh, we're at 2.5 right now. So by next July it'll be our third year.
Oh, so that the but I think that when I went to take pictures for you guys that one summer, I just
Yeah.
showed up. That was your first
Yep.
year. Oh, I was always under the impression that you guys been around at least a little longer than that.
Nah, it was the first everything
Oh
like we
wow,
were a part of. Yeah.
that must have been exciting seeing it actually come to fulfillment that
Yeah,
day.
especially in our neighborhood, because we lived right up the block.
You guys are your main area is we got your main area of focus is Harlem. I mean Hunts Point, right?
Yeah, Hunts Point, South Bronx area. We've done a lot of work over the past year in Soundview too.
Okay, but your main area is Hunts Point, right?
Yep.
Why Hunts Point?
Oh, just because it's familiar. I've been living in Hunts Point for about 6, 7 years, and I haven't seen any programming for kids in that area. There's actually organizations that have stuff going on there, but it's paid, so kids come from other neighborhoods to come. It's not even for the kids in the neighborhood. So I was like, I'm just straight up doing free programming so that anybody that wants to come can come.
Mm, okay, that's dope. So, what is your goal now? What we got next?
My goal now is to get We Got Next into as many schools in New York as possible, meaning after school programming, weekend programming, and any help that we can do throughout the school day. Meaning, mindfulness is a big thing for us. There's plenty of room for that to be taking place throughout the school day, after school, weekends. We want to help kids get to the point where they can compose themselves in any situation they face. A lot of kids are out here doing a lot of things they shouldn't be doing,
Hmm.
and it's just because they haven't been taught how to just relax and think about their decisions and just make the best choice for themselves.
Has there been any positive? Have you seen any positive changes because of the We Got Next Sport with any kids in mind?
Well, I'd say all the kids that have been in our program have gone on, got promoted, went on to. We really focus on middle schoolers, but most of them, well, all of them that we had in our program graduated and went to high school. So that's step one.
Okay.
Just getting them to keep on getting promoted, getting through school, getting to college. Like, I can't wait till this first batch of kids that we've been working with can say, I got accepted to college, because that's part of the journey that we're definitely going to be helping out with. Like, there's always space in the building for them to work on homework and do academic things as well when they're not in practice.
Yeah.
And we want to, when they get to the stage where they're 11th graders or 10th graders, start helping them with colleges. Take them on some college tours and things like that, just to show them what's out there. I feel like if I had more of that when I was younger, I would have had an opportunity to look at more schools, especially historic black colleges.
Okay, that's great. So, are you? What is your plan next for the future? I because you told me previously that you guys are going through like a rebranding.
Yes, so before, it was more prominent just the sports part of We Got Next, but now I'm putting to the forefront the mindfulness aspects, the practice of meditation that we're putting the kids through. We're going by 3 M's now of movement, matriculation, and mindfulness. So the matriculation part is just making sure that all kids in our program go to college or to a trade school, whatever benefits them in life and will help them be successful in the industry that they want to go into. And the mindfulness is just learning how to be comfortable in their own bodies,
Yeah.
learning how to be comfortable with their identity, making sure they feel included, and we give them an open and safe environment at all times.
What was the reason for the rebranding?
Just to make it more prominent, because these are things that we were already doing, but from an outsider looking in, especially when it comes to funders, sponsors, and things like that, it looked like we were only doing like competitive league play,
Hmm.
and that was like a presumption that I wanted to get rid of.
Funny, because that's what I thought you guys mainly did as well.
Yeah, we were facing that a lot with
Yeah.
talking to people.
How do you guys implement these other parts? Are they like workshops that you guys do? That you guys sit down with the kids, like how is this implemented outside of the sports, or do you implement like how is the implementation of it? Because like for me as an outsider, I just see people playing sports. How do you show the other part?
So that's a good question. So when the kids have practice, there's always in the school. There's always classrooms dedicated where they can do work. They can do their academic work.
Hmm.
Mindfulness aspect, meditation is part of practice. So
Yes.
we start practice with
Okay.
quick meditation and practice with meditation.
Hmm.
So that's just incorporating that right now into their daily, and that's something that they not a lot of coaches do, but if you think about the biggest athletes, they all were taught meditation from their
Oh,
coaches.
really?
Like Phil Jackson coached Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and
Hmm.
Shaq, and meditation was part of all their practices. He made them read books about meditation. He
Yeah.
made them like really zone in and focus on that. And they've had interviews where they talked about that helping and improving their game.
It was just to help them stay calm.
Help them stay calm, help them learn how to deal with pressure,
Hmm.
like live in that moment. And that is the biggest thing that goes into your regular life. You can be faced with a lot of different things in your life, like bad things happening to you, and how you react could change your life.
Yeah.
So just learning how to compose yourself and have that poise and grace um, can really change a decision that you regret forever into a decision that you are very happy you made.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times when when we get overwhelmed, we start thinking about, oh, what can happen, like if this or that, and then we make decisions based off of the what if, and not what's currently happening. So, as a brand new nonprofit, how are your attempts to grow? And the goal for any brand new nonprofit is donations. How do you guys go about that? Do you guys reaching out, hope to hear from some people? How do you guys grow?
So I say the main thing at the moment is just leading by example and showing
Hmm.
in the community. We're young. We were blessed to have gotten a sponsorship from Nike.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you. And it's unheard of for companies under 2 years
Yeah.
getting Nike sponsorships.
You know why you got how they reached out to you and how they heard about you guys?
So it was mostly because of our work in the South Bronx.
Mm.
Just being pretty much the leading force in that community
Yeah.
and trying to make a difference was we got we got in a lot because of perspective and like just seeing where we could go,
Are
and they
there
wanted to help with that process.
are there any other programs in your specific area that?
Not really. We got the schools. They have the school programs.
Yeah.
And there's a community center over there that does programming as well. But completely free programming that is available on weekends and like after hours, not really.
Mm. So you guys are like a unicorn.
Yeah, I say so because we're not just trying to compete. We're trying to help kids academically. We're trying to help them in their everyday lives. It's not just about. It's way bigger than basketball for us.
Mm. So then, where do you see yourself with We Got Next in like the next 10 years from now?
Hopefully, we are a program on the level of a Boys and Girls Club, a
Mm.
level of a YMCA. Like, we want to have a bunch of locations where we can impact a lot of lives. And we want to stay true to what we're doing right now, which is free programming, so that it's only possible with our sponsors, that's only possible with our donors, the parents, and just the kids showing up and showing that what we're doing is working.
Oh man, that's great. I hope you get there. You guys are done a lot in a short period of time.
Thank you.
It's really amazing work you're doing. And even when I go come out, it's like a lot of kids come out.
Yep.
A lot of kids come out there. I see the families coming out and cheering. So it's a very good thing you're doing, especially for like the community of the Bronx that has kind of a very negative stigma, the area itself. So see somebody in the community giving back to it and doing something good and giving somewhere for the kids to go do something and play and fulfill and even learn through activities is a great thing. So I hope you continue to grow.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
You can keep the wine, by the way. That's all you. You like it?
Yeah, it's good.
It's not bad. It's a little.
It smells good too. Like,
Yeah,
ain't bad, man. So we good?
yeah, we're good.